I mean, a lot of new additions this summer, obviously. How do you see the offense looking different this season than last season, particularly when it comes to Kevin's involvement?
Well, obviously you have a high-level scorer that's been doing it for a long time, and anytime you add those type of players, efficiency goes up, attention goes up. It helps other guys out, and so the things that he does on the court offensively, that's seamless. You can fit him into any system. You've seen that wherever he's gone. Even the last few years, the efficiency, the numbers, at an older age, he's still doing it at a very high level. So he'll fit in seamlessly with our guys. I think the attention that he draws, like I said, will be beneficial to others, and he's a guy you can lean on at times to close games, but very unselfish player as well with a high IQ.
Are you going to draw from schemes that you used when you were with them in Brooklyn and try to implement maybe some of those?
Yeah, we've looked at all of the above, and we have our coaches retreat coming up, and we'll sit down and look at some things that we did in Brooklyn. Obviously, myself and Royale were there with them, and had a very efficient year there. But at the same time, he's a guy that doesn't want to just lean on him. He wants to kind of be implemented into the group, and people not take a backseat to him. That's his message to a lot of the young guys: is be who you are, continue to grow in those areas, and I'll fit in where we see necessary.
Ime, as good as he is on the floor, how excited are you to know what he can bring to this locker room and the entire team, the entire roster?
Yeah, I think that's an underrated thing with him is that people lead in different ways, and everywhere he goes, the work ethic, the day-to-day professionalism, and how he goes about his business, it all rubs off. And you saw that with Fred, you saw that with Dylan and Steven and some of the vets we had coming in. I think he just adds to that. Anytime you can add veteran guys with high IQ and work ethic that he has, it's not a fluke that he is where he is, and that's due to what he does every day. And I was with him in Brooklyn, I was with him at USA Basketball, and his individual workouts are kind of legendary, and so it kind of takes young guys by awe at times, the way he goes, the pace he goes with, and how diligent he is, and so those things are all beneficial for our young group to see.
After last season, Coach, after last season, I got a chance to speak with Kevin in the locker room, and he's talked about the program that you had built here with the young guys and how you ingratiated the veterans as well. What does that mean to you, to a player of his caliber, his magnitude, to talk about how you have put together this program over the last 2 years?
Yeah, I think him being that we have a history together, and obviously seeing what each other has done on the court and work together, he probably saw that. But around the league, I think people saw the change pretty quickly with our group and the competitiveness, and like I said from day one, it's changed the perception of who we are around the league, and so that came pretty quickly, and I think he noticed that. But obviously, we're on the same page as far as trying to get together and play and coach together, and so just an honor to have him here now, and also great for him to see and recognize what we're doing with our guys. And obviously, like I talked about, the veterans played a huge role in that and changing the perception here.
What were your biggest directives to Alperen this summer, and what have you thought about in Eurobasket thus far?
Yeah, it was really be aggressive and get back to dominating, as you have throughout your career, basically. For him, we want him to work on specific things, and the way they guard him over in Europe, in Eurobasket, he's doing a great job, obviously getting high assist numbers, being very efficient, but doing all the things and trying to be well-rounded. So it wasn't just about scoring the ball, it was about take the shots that are there, be aggressive, and play defense the way you have, and you've seen him had some success on that end. Had some really big end-of-game plays defensively that won them games, and so great to see him, the work he's putting in being rewarded.
Any number 3s you want per game from him this year?
No, it's really take the shots that's there, be aggressive, and take the shot you want more than settling for other things. You look at guys across the league, and you want them to take threes at times. I think that it bails defenses out at times, but we want him to be confident in it, but not settle for it.
You sent out 2 starters in the Kevin deal and got back 1. Is the idea that you pencil Jabari into that open slot, or is it to be determined by training camp?
It'll be to be determined. I think Jabari showed tremendous growth this offseason, and obviously has started the majority of his time here before the injury, and so we'll take a look at everything. We feel we have incredible depth this year and a lot of versatility, so it can go a number of ways as far as that, and I think some of that will be proven in training camp.
Going into the offseason, as a group going into the offseason, maybe where did you want the team as a collective to grow the most, and maybe from what you've seen so far through the offseason as guys work to get better, what have you seen from them as far as improvement goes?
Yeah, I think our biggest thing was IQ across the board. And I think the experience of being in an in-season tournament, being in the playoffs for the first time for a lot of these guys, and playing meaningful basketball on that level will help with the experience as far as their IQ and their growth. And so, big thing we talked about, physical guys getting stronger, guys getting faster, and those things. But I think the IQ department is a big thing for us. And like I said, when you add veterans, that expedites the process. But we're not just relying on those guys. We want Amen, Alpi, Jabari, Tari, Reed, and these guys that young guys that have been around. Some of those guys 5 and 4 years now to take that step in the IQ department.
With all the excitement of the season, what does it mean to be part of an organization that takes time out today to recognize the veterans and all they've done?
Yeah, this is something that like Rafael said, we get lauded for playing basketball games, but to come in here, it's a privilege for us to tour the facility and see what they do to support the veterans and all the resources for veterans. And so, they all kind of gave us a spiel of what they do, and we'll get to see that here in a minute. But it's an honor for us to come out and do it. It's not just about us playing games and being looked at for that. And I think obviously on a day like 9/11, you start to, as time goes by, you forget the day-to-day things. But veterans coming back and the resources provided to them is a big thing, and so it's great for us to be here.
Are you planning to add another assistant before the season to replace Mike?
No, we've elevated within.
Coach, you
One
talk-
more, guys.
All right, Coach, you talked about the veterans repeatedly throughout this interview. What have you seen from what Fred VanVleet did this offseason as far as making sure that he had his body correct, but not only that, going overseas to spend time with Alpi as he helps him progress and go into this season?
Yeah, it's been great. We go in depth in our exit interviews about things that we feel are beneficial for guys, and for some guys to be stronger, for other guys it maybe to shed a little weight and to have the duration of the season, not have these nagging injuries. And so for Fred, he's a diligent worker. He bulked up, when he first got here because we switch a lot, and he wanted to guard bigger guys, and now as we get older, I shared my experiences with him of and trying to be more limber and get back to feeling in a good way, and I think he's there in a great spot. So that's great. But the leadership, to your point, I think it's not just about talking about it; it's going out there and doing it and spending time with Alperen overseas and what he's doing with Jabari in the gym on a day-to-day basis, all the young guys, Vegas, and going to summer league and all those things that he doesn't have to do. It shows why he is one of the leaders of the team.
Thanks, Coach.